like dying on the inside.
Right on top, here's the other shoe. Clouds overhead, start to loom. Some born to win, other things to lose. From the options we must choose. My fraternity is right on time. Can't talk to think that it is fine.
My name is Jonah. I play drums in the band Fucked Up.
My name is Damien, and I am the lead vocalist slash chanteurs of the band Fucked Up.
The most important moment in the last year of this band was the release of David Comes to Life, because it's brought us to this precise moment.
I'm going to say the birth of my son was more important than the release of David Comes to Life, because some of us don't worry about releasing music. We make human beings.
Someday your son is going to make beautiful music as well, though.
That's right.
And
better than your kid, jerk.
Well, as a band, probably that's the most important thing we've done.
We all took part in the making of my son.
Yeah.
It was a group effort.
As people, obviously there are other things that are more important, but something tells me that you're all going to get to know us over a long period of time.
The Polaris Prize to me has been a huge, like, obviously we won before, so it's like a big moment in our history as a band. But I think it's just kind of a reflection of how much, like, sort of the perception of what is and isn't Canadian music has grown. You know, like, growing up, there was a very uniform-ish kind of vibe to Canadian bands, and I think if you look at this list this year, I think it's reflective of the fact that, like, this country's always produced an insane range of music, and now it's finally getting acknowledged. And I think the Polaris has always been kind of like the one place to kind of try and do that and acknowledge some of the lesser-known categories out there. As a member of a lesser-known category like I am.
Yep. I think that we're in great company, and it's something that picks up exactly on what we were just talking about, which is the sort of diversity of all this music that's happening in this category. I mean, for us to be connected to the rest of these bands speaks to the fact that there's so much happening in Canadian music right now, and that if there's one thing that's unifying, it isn't something that's temporary and stylistic or fleeting and about trends or fads. I mean, these are people who are coming from 10 different places, you know, and so it's a real honor to be put together as people who have something positive to add to Canadian music.
When I found out we were on the shortlist, I think a sense of relief washed over me, because I envisioned a list that didn't have us on at this time, you know? Like, it was a really strong long list, like, which isn't reflective. I think I like this record. I like it more than the record we won for. But, you know, it's one of those things where it's a really stiff group of records every year, and this year especially, it seems like.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, you know? It's a pleasure to be recognized, and any feelings that arose were just sort of better than nostalgia, but not as cocky as Glee.
Yeah, it's almost
and that's a kind of a legitimate answer.
And this is the year we know we're not going to win, right? You know, like, not that we thought we were going to win the last time, but we know we're not going to win this time. So, like, this is the one where you actually just, like, relax. This is the one where you have maybe that extra Coke Zero, you know, because you don't have to worry about making a speech later on. So you can tie one on, or two as it may be. That joke went with Jonah's suit. It came in the pocket.
Yeah.
I think the thing I'm looking forward to most this year at the awards show, I don't know, I guess performing in front of my peers would be. It's weird this time. Like, last time it was like there's all this excitement. Now it feels like, you know, like you're going through your graduation again. So you're still excited because you're graduating again from high school, but you know, but it's your second time through the graduation process. So you almost feel like you're encroaching on other people's graduations. You know,
much like an extension of this award. This is a group of people that we wouldn't necessarily have ever shared a stage with, or you know, shared the same breath in a sentence with. So I think the performance is the best aspect of this gala. And I know that other award shows and things like that have that performative aspect, but it seems sort of a bit passive in the sense that it's not what's important. And I think what's important is that all these things do fit together. So for us to be up on a stage with all these people, we might never cross paths with them again. And we might very well, but I think that's kind of one of the most important parts of the evening, is everybody being able to get up there and speak in front of their peers. It's a good way to put it.
And also meeting artists that you don't necessarily get to meet because you don't share the stage with, that you have a lot in common with, like Cold Specs, like Yamataka, Sonic Titan, like Kathleen Edwards. Like, these are all people that I've never really met prior to the Polaris stuff that I've actually like kind of hit it off and hung out with and stuff. And so, you know, that aspect of it, it's funny for us because like we were like a band that never really felt like much of a Canadian band, even though we were all Canadian and from Canada, playing in Canada, until like we won the Polaris Prize. And now kind of coming back here, it's like a chance for us to be like, yeah, we're part of this fraternity of Canadian bands, you know? A Canadian record. I'm gonna say was the Omegas LP this year or last year?
It might have been 2011. But yeah, you know what?
I'm gonna say the Omegas LP. The Omegas LP.
Blasts of Lunacy by the Omegas from Montreal, put out on Parts Unknown Records.
Yeah, it'll never ever be nominated, so there's no worry of that. But it is a fantastic record, and I think reflective of, like, you know, as diverse of a list as this is, there's still obviously pockets of music that hasn't been acknowledged yet. And so hopefully in the future, maybe next year, we'll be talking about the Omegas on the list. I don't think so, but it'd be fun if we were.
Yeah. I kind of think Grimes is going to take it.
I'm going to say Grimes. Like, there's a lot of records I think could take it, but I think, you know, Grimes had a fantastic year. But this is the one award show that you can have it figured out. You can have it totally figured out with all the logical and, like, you know, well reasoned out why this person should win, and you have no idea who's going to come out. We're living proof of that. You have no idea. Like, the artist that should have won, I don't think's ever won. You know, it's more like, oh, that artist won, that artist won.
We're brand evangelists for surprise.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything goes. I think we both have an idea of where we think the puzzle pieces should fit, but I also don't think that that's what the Polaris is about. So life is a chain of games.
What's that from? What song is that?
Death Side.
Life to me is a series of either fortunate or unfortunate events, depending on how you take it.
Chain of games.
I smoke weed. It's fine. That's the answer.